Hello to congregation members, friends, and followers. I'm Pastor Brett Wilson, coming to you from Lutherstadt Wittenberg, Wittenberg, Germany, where Martin Luther began the Protestant Reformation in 1517. And it's this church, the town church, St. Mary's Church here in Wittenberg, that is considered the mother church of the Reformation. This is the church where Luther most often preached and taught, where he and Katie were married and baptized their children. And I'll get to lead worship in here later during my time. I've led worship the past 2 afternoons here in the chapel of the church. And though it's a separate building, it's part of this church complex. And this one was built in the 1300s and was often used as a cemetery chapel, where smaller funeral masses, weddings, and other such services were held. Today it's a church that also is a place for children's church. And there's a community of Lutheran nuns that have daily prayer in here as well. I'm going to terribly not pronounce this. The Fronleichnamskapelle, the Body of Christ Chapel is what it is. Check out the door. And so I want to go in and show you, and we haven't been able to live stream from here, but I wanted to show it to you and give you just a little recap of what we shared in worship today. Here's the space for prayer. And this prayer-soaked place, like many of our churches, we read today from Psalm 90, where it reads, "So teach us to number our days." It says, "Make us glad, O Lord, for all the years that you have afflicted us." That verse is both law and gospel, telling the truth about our brokenness, that life sometimes does feel full of affliction, and also make us glad that it tells the truth about God's promises as well. And there are places that also are law and gospel, love and the truth of how hard life is. And a place like this where burials were often funeral masses held, Luther would have held some here too. This place is soaked with law and gospel, with the truth of our sin and our brokenness and our mortality. This where people would say goodbye to loved ones and then entrust them to the grave, but also celebrate marriage and life and bring their children for children's church nowadays. Life is always both, isn't it? So here we welcome and we send. And it was actually here in 1518, from right here in this little chapel, that Martin Luther made a declaration to the Pope to go ahead and convene a council against for the charges that he was being brought up against for heresy. And so the Reformation continued, and it still continues today. And while I'm here in Wittenberg, each day I'm wanting to lift up a little bit of the history of this place and these the amazing things that happened here, and also how God is still reforming with more recent history and the present. So today I lifted up that today our denomination, the ELCA, remembers and commemorates the Reverend Massey Kennard, an African-American pastor who was ordained in the Lutheran Church in America in 1958. I've been talking about the 1500s so much I'm getting them mixed up. And then also, and we give thanks for Pastor Kennard's work and witness, especially in the work of inclusion and diversity in our church. Also today, the Common Prayer Devotional commemorates the Women in Black movement, which started in Serbia in 1991 when women organized to hold vigils for peace from the violence and war. in their country and region. Also, today is Thursday, and I am wearing black, joining with siblings across the globe in the World Council of Churches effort for Thursdays in Black, which is a movement of awareness, prayer, and action to end gender-based and sexual violence. Look it up, Thursdays in Black. Church is still reforming. Let's see if we can hear these church bells in Wittenberg from the tower. Give you a final view here. There you go. So, Guten Tag from Wittenberg, and I'll be live streaming later in the week from either here in the town church or the castle church, or just start recording them and uploading them later. But peace to you wherever you are and wherever you find this. God is with you.